How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I'm not shocked at all. I seen what was going down, and I said, I'm going to wait. I'm patient, my royal family. It's going to be real juicy, real sweet, like you really need to go run and get your shit. I got, today I'm on my water regiment, so, while I'm stalling, hook your shit up. And I almost forgot something. While y'all doing all that, I left something out here. Oh my goodness. I got an anchor for y'all. I said I was going to make that effort, my royal family, and I'm doing what I said I was going to do. So, let's see. Let me take it up here on my, I think I'm going in the wrong way. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, here, to the public. So, I got a 16-minute video. I told you Becky was going to be the first. Oh, yeah. What I got there is epic and juicy. So, I'm going to remind you, I got to do this. Homegirl, just wait. I got to do this. And then they know what I'm going to do. Deliver. So, my goodness. And I got a bonus video. I think I mentioned that. I'm just all over the place. And I'm speaking from the heart. I'm not going to read anything today. When I was looking for these mug shots, the first set of mug shots, they tried to make these hicks look like they was in their best light. Pay real close attention to the videos that I play. Listen to the, what's that word that I use? The inflections in everybody's voices. Just listen real close. Sometimes you don't close your eyes for a good minute and you can absorb it like that too. So, Billy Bob over here feeling some kind of way. They feeling, like they being subjugated, and, they just tired of the system altogether. So, they run these little militia groups running around with they, assault rifles. And I guess they, since they couldn't accomplish killing Rona in a petri dish, that they got to find someone to blame. And we know throughout history how inadequate the beasts continue to be. Just the sheer existence of a fine black man. I mean, one the true royal, like, dipped in chocolate, chiseled from head to toe, big arms, nice calves. Ooh wee, was ooh me to me, and them they be like, damn. They feel some kind of way. So, even though I may be bantering and joking, I'm dead ass serious too. Now that video that I did the other day about what went down with that sister, I said these people are dangerous. They're watching their kingdom die before their eyes. They are not to be toyed with at all. And that don't mean you no punk. This is the art of war I'm using, my royal family. Our Father done already set things up for us to stay out of their way as much as possible. Because Becky and Brad, they've been had an internal war, but it's going to play out on the world stage. And who do they pick to be first? What I have been harping on for 4 years. Anybody that's new to the True Royal family, or True Royal, 4 years ago summer, I get visions. And I don't get visions in my sleep. I get visions, I could just be taking a walk. And the Creator said, the white woman will be the first to get my wrath. And that does not exclude the white man because he upheld her shit. And I was like, what? That's one I didn't sit on. I told the royal family immediately. Now, there's other incidents I can pull out to show that it was leading this way. But this is big. This is epic. Because when you see the bonus video, you're going to see how dead ass serious Esau can get down when it comes to his woman. And keep in mind, as I'm playing these, I got, these videos, that how he is viewing her. All right? Got to find somebody to blame. You got to remember, they built this system, and they built it in such a way it was not supposed to fail them. But they're demonstrating some things. So I'm still in Lisa Cabrera's talking point. She said they can't elevate no further. They cannot elevate no further in the very system that they put together. So they're at a desperation point. They're going to conduct themselves according to their true nature. That's why they're going in on each other in their individual households. You got caged animals that don't have outlets. They got to have an outlet when they can't see a future without you, Becky. Oh, yeah, I'm splitting these fames tonight. Can you imagine that, my royal family? He can't see a future that he is willing to take a chance, knowing what the possible consequences may be. But he took a chance to take her out. That's what they was going to do. Probably would have did all kind of crazy sexual stuff, all kind of horrible things. So, she's a soft target. Or do they got mama issues? Because, all of these here have mamas. And look at what these mamas produced. Inadequate white males. It's hard for you to watch your kingdom die. Oh yes, my royal family. True Royal is milking it for all it's worth. Some of y'all can't stand it. I'm being slow and methodical and making it very painful. I'm good at what I do, like most of the people in the royal family. So let's go on this journey, my royal family.
To the hostility on the U.S. campaign trail. Donald Trump rallied in Michigan last night, where he renewed his attack on Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The Democrat has been a frequent target over her state's COVID-19 restrictions. Earlier this month, there was a foiled plot to kidnap the governor. So Trump encouraging calls to lock Whitmer up are concerning. As Jennifer Johnson reports, the Trump campaign says the president was just having fun.
Lock 'em all up. A familiar battle cry at a Trump rally in Battleground, Michigan. But this time the target was Governor Gretchen Whitmer, not 2016 opponent Hillary Clinton. U.S. President Donald Trump still stoking fury against Whitmer 10 days after the FBI arrested 13 people, including members of a militia group, in a plot to allegedly kidnap and possibly kill her.
I guess they said she was threatened, right? She was threatened. And she blamed me.
The president has mocked Whitmer for months over partially closing her state to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The governor says the president is inciting domestic terrorism.
It is wrong. It's got to end. It is dangerous, not just for me and my family, but for public servants everywhere who are doing their jobs and trying to protect their fellow Americans.
Trump's senior campaign advisor and daughter-in-law is defending his rhetoric.
He was having fun at a Trump rally. Of course, he wasn't encouraging people to threaten this woman. That's ridiculous.
Whitmer's policy to stop COVID-19 have the state so divided she has banned the right to openly carry guns at polling places on Election Day.
You got to get your governor to open up your state, okay?
New cases of COVID-19 in Michigan are rising by over 2,000 a day. Almost every other U.S. state is also showing rapid increases in cases and hospitalizations. On the campaign trail, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden won't let voters forget who's responsible for the pandemic.
My grandfather would say, this guy's gone around the bend if he thinks we turned the corner. Turn the corner, things are getting worse. He continues to lie to us about the circumstances.
Both candidates with completely different views on how America can recover from the pandemic as voters decide in just over 2 weeks which direction they want the country to go. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.
The U.S. election may be one of the most acrimonious in recent history, but there's something shared by supporters of both campaigns: interest. According to a recent poll, there's almost no difference in how much Democrats and Republicans are following.
I'm playing that for a reason, and I didn't want to play it all. So we're going to continue on, and y'all will see where I'm coming from. Let's hold that. So let me go back there. Where am I? Okay. Right here. I wanted to just show a snippet, because y'all didn't need to hear all of that, because this is a long video, of how Trump played too fucking much. Now, you know, he wants to come off like he's quite brilliant and has an extremely high IQ. Trump don't even know the damn Constitution. He don't even know the first words of the Constitution. And in that little snippet, you see him at this rally playing. But they're saying, oh, he wasn't trying to be mean or anything like that. Just shit. He meant what he said. People are dying in droves. And all he can do is play. But okay, we got to realize, around about the age of 3.5, Trump just stopped. And so this is the best that their leadership on both sides can do. Because they all one in the same. You ain't going to fool me with that shit. And then you have that mannequin come out, which you call your daughter-in-law, to try to gloss over shit. And she don't mind going against her. So now Becky got another problem. Becky against Becky. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Just have your popcorn on deck and just watch it all play out. Now, Trump, I'm just, letting your folks know, and you, there's a thing called tact in diplomacy. And the way you were supposed to handle that, you were supposed to give her a private phone call to show your full support. And after you do all of that, when you get on TV, you're supposed to say, this was if one of the reporters bring it up or whatever, yeah, that was a terrible situation. I quickly made a phone call to the governor of Michigan, said all resources is available, even though we are not part of the same political party. It shouldn't be that serious when somebody crosses that bridge and say they want to kill any of us. Because trust and believe, if Billy Bob and them could get their hands on Trump, oh, they would. They don't like Trump. No. But see, he likes that behavior because he too scared to do it. He not taken in his psyche. They don't give a damn about him. They feel threatened. Their immediate situation is fucked up, like most people in America. I keep saying, my royal family, the enemy fatten their own self up for the kill. Now the fucking world's supposed to stop. We've been dealing with this day one. Boo-hoo. Pull your fucking bootstraps up, bitch. That's how I really feel. So I said I'll just show you a snippet of that. But we're going to get up in this bonus video. Now this bonus video, I sequenced it for a reason, and you will fully understand how real this shit is.
The story that shook the nation.
A plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer and overthrow the government.
Tonight, we take you inside the plot, bringing you an in-depth investigation of their plans.
They know that it's right here at your doorstep is kind of worse.
And giving you the most comprehensive look at the suspects yet.
Pretty clear they just want to shut us down and try to imprison us again.
Excuse me, are you Adam's mom?
This is News 8 in prime time from Wood TV. The Governor Plot. Here's Susan Shaw and Brian Sterling.
Tonight, dissecting the plot to kidnap Michigan's governor, anger over the lockdown boiling over into an alleged violent plan to take the state's leader by force. Now, 14 men are charged. 3 of them are from right here in West Michigan.
Tonight, our Target 8 investigators zero in on the timeline of terror, from the militia group's plan on paper to actual action.
Then, from rifle ranges and training grounds to late-night northern Michigan stakeouts, we take you to the places the Wolverine Watchmen were allegedly organizing the overthrow.
Our team coverage tonight kicks off with Susan Samples.
They're in. Locked and loaded.
Suspected terrorist takedown.
Boom, a flashbang grenade.
Across the state.
It's not like Vietnam.
A state of shock.
It's just unimaginable.
Allegations of a brazen plot
To kidnap and possibly kill me.
exposed to the light for the first time, but in the dark corners of the web, months of alleged planning, encrypted cyber chats, secret meetings, say the feds. June 6th, Dublin, Ohio, a meeting of a dozen or so like-minded militia.
They have us hating each other. They have us harming ourselves.
This YouTube video purportedly recorded at the Ohio meeting.
Anybody that wants you to hate yourself or somebody else is your enemy.
In the corner, in the tri-corner hat, accused terrorist Barry Croft of Delaware at the Ohio meeting here, and a month or so later, a guest on a YouTube talk show.
Only I wear a tri-corner hat because I feel like we've forgotten our past and our history.
He's a single father, truck driver, pardoned last year by Delaware's governor for a 90s felony firearm conviction.
All the people in the United States of America's rights are being trampled by a tyrannical government.
We are not here for that.
Back to that Ohio meeting where the feds say an informant recorded discussions on creating a society that followed the U.S. Bill of Rights, claims that Governor Whitmer was violating the Constitution, and talk about murdering tyrants or taking a sitting governor.
We've been pitted against each other.
Also at the Ohio gathering, say investigators, Adam Fox, a 37-year-old employee and temporary basement tenant of a Grand Rapids vacuum shop. The feds say Fox was a ringleader. His mom had nothing to say this week.
Can you tell me about your son?
We caught up with Fox's mom as she and a man picked up his belongings from the vac shack.
I don't know what happened. He's changed in the last 8 months.
Fox's boss, Vac Shack owner Brian Titus, says Fox was angry over the virus lockdown.
Wearing a mask, he believes his Constitution rights were taken away from him. He's afraid that if the Democrats become in, he kept saying they're going to take our Second Amendment rights away.
Titus had been letting Fox live in the store's basement, but was kicking him out, scared about his employees' militia ties and growing gun and ammo collection, though Titus says he knew nothing of the Whitmer kidnapping plot.
That's what happens when you try to help out people. He broke up with his girlfriend a week ago, and he had nowhere to go with his dogs. You can see there's dogs in here.
June 14th.
You hear that pathetic shit? I mean, his mama, I felt her energy. We know where all this coming from, my royal family. Oh, I'm loving this. This is juicy. Oh yeah, real juicy. Then you got old No Neck up there. He all up in his feelings about what? About what? I mean, this is deep. Oh my goodness. I see the number 17. Oh, thank you, Father. We got 17 minutes left. I cannot make that up at all. All right. Overcoming the enemy and a complete victory.
In an alleged phone call recorded by an informant, Fox said he needed 200 men to storm the Capitol building in Lansing and take hostages, including Governor Whitmer.
We the people!
June 18th, at the very building the feds say he wanted to storm, an armed Adam Fox attended a gun rights rally where he met up with two more accused terrorists, 42-year-old Pete Musico and his 26-year-old son-in-law, Joseph Morrison, co-founders of the Wolverine Watchman militia. They hosted field training exercises for the group at their home in the Jackson area. Neighbor Pam Karshnock.
Beautiful country out here, and all of a sudden, out of the peace and quiet, bam, 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 for hours.
Joseph Morrison is a former Marine reservist who's known among the Watchmen as Boogaloo Bunyan.
Why do you guys all have Hawaiian shirts on?
Just a shirt.
Again, that's Adam Fox, and next to him, Morrison. I happened to notice their clothes at the gun rights rally. That's Pete Musico trying to convince me they just really like tropical threads. The whole group.
That doesn't mean anything?
No, not that I know of. What does it mean?
Hawaiian shirts are a signature of the extreme libertarian Boogaloo movement.
Very pro-gun, very anti-police, very anti-authority, period. And in its most extreme forms, they advocate a civil war.
On the other end of this camera, armed and inside the Capitol this time, another alleged terrorist.
Quit being sheep.
William Knoll. Going live at the lockdown protest in late May.
Finally, some angry Michiganders in here throwing a fit. This is about time. Wake the up, people.
38-year-old Knoll from Shelbyville and his twin brother Michael from Plainwell were both charged in the kidnapping plot.
Yes, ma'am.
Michael has a minor property offense on his record. William, no record at all. They're both part of the Michigan Liberty Militia.
Not me, dude. I'm gonna have fun hunting.
The twins talked to News 8 earlier this summer, denying any connection between militias and white supremacy.
Everything we do gets turned into being a racist. I'm not even sure how.
They boasted, too, about providing security at other rallies.
Some of the events that we're at, we don't really actually don't even agree with. But as constitutionalists, you have the right to protest as long as you're peaceful.
June 20th, the Vac Shack basement. The feds say the scene of another clandestine meeting, one where participants put their cell phones in a box upstairs to avoid bugs. But a mole among them recorded the meeting anyway, and alleged plans to assault the state capitol and counter law enforcement using Molotov cocktails to destroy police cars. June 28th, federal agents say Musico and Morrison hosted a field training exercise at their home near Jackson.
I'm still shaking. I'm still shaking knowing it was that close to me.
Participating in the training that day, 3 more alleged kidnap conspirators from the state's east side, 26-year-old Caleb Franks of Waterford, 25-year-old Ty Garbin of Heartland, and 32-year-old Brandon Caserta of Canton, seen here on YouTube blasting police.
This is a violent gang, okay, that has each other's back, and they're organized.
Before the federal charges, Caserta had a few traffic offenses. Franks and Garbin had no criminal records at all.
You need to know who the people are that are taking your rights.
The weekend of July...
Oop, wait a minute, my royal family.
The story that shook the nation.
Got a little glitch here. All right. See, retrograde want to be funny style.
To kidnap Governor Whitmer and overthrow the government.
Okay, let's bring this down. Let's see here. I'm gonna start right about here.
Who the people are that are taking your rights.
The weekend of July 10th, another field training exercise, this time at a property in Cambria, Wisconsin, where the feds say Fox and others tried and failed to detonate an IED, while Franks shot a rifle with a silencer. In late July, increasingly violent chatter. Federal agents quote Fox as saying in a recorded call, "I just want to make the world glow, and I'm just so sick of it. Everything is going to have to be annihilated." In another recorded meeting, Fox allegedly said their best bet would be to snatch and grab the governor at her vacation home or summer residence. And in an encrypted online chat, this alleged suggestion from terror suspect Daniel Harris: have one person go to her house, knock on the door, and when she answers it, just cap her. 38-year-old Harris from Lake Orion is a former Marine like Joseph Morrison. Another terror defendant reported to Army basic training, but the DoD says 22-year-old Paul Ballar of Oakland County failed to complete requirements for enlistment. Still, federal agents say Ballar was able to provide fellow terror suspects with plans for tactical maneuvers at trainings and coded language for covert communications.
One of the alarming aspects of some of these groups is their attempt to recruit former or active law enforcement and military. And to the extent that they're able to do that, then they have on board people who know the tactics, who know how to do this. And that makes them dangerous.
August 29th, the feds say Adam Fox headed north for the first time to surveil Governor Whitmer's northern Michigan vacation home.
So you have the right to remain silent.
Also on that trip, say investigators, were an informant and a third man also charged in the plot, 22-year-old Eric Molitor of Cadillac. Earlier this year, Molitor's mother led the charge to make Wexford County a Second Amendment sanctuary county.
In order to be released, you must...
Another suspect, 38-year-old Sean Fix of Wayne County, reportedly a truck driver by trade, helped identify the governor's house, say investigators. And on Thursday, new charges against a 14th man, 51-year-old Brian Higgins of Wisconsin, who the state says helped surveil the governor's home, providing night vision goggles for the task.
There's serious allegations.
One suspect's lawyer, Gary Springstead, warned against a rush to judgment.
How they bear out, I think we have to let play out in court to find out what is fact from fiction and what is protected constitutional activity and what isn't.
It's a tremendous threat.
A tremendous threat, but no surprise to John Farmer, whose center at Rutgers University sounded the alarm nationwide in early 2020 about the Boogaloo movement that the feds say found a target in Michigan.
It was a serious plot. I think they really intended to try to do this. And it is a direct usurpation of the legitimate government of Michigan.
When we return, in the footsteps of the militia, we're taking you to the governor's northern Michigan neighborhood.
Her neighbors telling us about strange boats at night, a lot of extra street traffic, and why the group's plot to blow up a bridge was doomed from the beginning. That's next.
Now inside the group's training grounds.
The 14 suspects are starting to turn ideas into action. But something else is happening. Neighbors of the governor's northern Michigan vacation home are noticing strange things.
Here's Target A's Ken Culker tracing the steps of the suspects.
The kidnapping plot brought the Michigan militia here to the tiny harborside village of Elk Rapids, just north of Traverse City, and where the governor keeps a summer home. But before driving here, they gathered just outside the village of Luther, about an hour and 20 minutes south.
Well, it's all good people here in Luther. You know, it's one big family. Everybody kind of works together.
A village that relies on deer hunting season in a county that draws retirees from downstate.
The reason for that is to get away from populated areas and the hustle and bustle of the big city. And people come up here to relax.
3 Mile Road is just a few turns outside of town. A dirt road where tracks left by deer commingle with those left by pickups. Off 3 Mile, a 2-track runs about a quarter-mile west to a trailer hidden in the woods. Confederate flag stickers on the window are the first sign you're in the right place. Then there's the rickety lookout post atop the trailer. Behind the trailer, piles of old tires form the back wall of what the federal government is calling a field training facility for militia members. Shell casings and shotgun shells litter the ground. 2 human silhouettes are crudely painted in red on a wooden wall, the silhouettes peppered with holes. This, according to state and federal affidavits, is where 10 of the militia members met the weekend of September 12th. With them were an informant and an undercover agent secretly audio recording everything. The feds say that one of those members, Ty Garvin, owns the property, but local records don't show any record of that. The Lake County Sheriff says he was unaware of any of this until the feds told him just last week. None of the men were from his jurisdiction. So you're not aware of any militia gatherings here or anything like that?
Well, there are several militia groups in the area. You know, I've talked to a few of the people that that are involved with that. There are some that are primarily in the Luther area. I don't think this actual sect was part of that organization.
It was Croft, the feds say, who brought what he called a, quote, chemistry set. Bomb components. He removed the cap from a commercial firework, added more black powder, then wrapped the device in pennies and electrical tape for shrapnel. Neighbors heard a blast from a half-mile away.
There was a big explosion, big boom, and I know what bombs sound like from the military.
But they did not report it.
You hear a lot of gunfire here. Where we live, it's so rural. It's pretty serious, though, when you've got a group of people that are going to kidnap your governor. That's serious and that's scary.
There's ways to go about things and there's ways not to go about things. And when we have this fanatical approach to something like that, because it didn't only involve the governor, it involved law enforcement. So obviously that's near and dear to my heart.
At the camp, Fox picked a handful of militia members, along with the informant and undercover agents, for the 80-minute drive to the governor's vacation home just outside Elk Rapids. 3 separate cars. Fox called it, quote, a perfect effing setup. But first, a little nighttime surveillance. Elk Rapids is a village of 1,600 people in Antrim County, with a one-screen theater, where the newspaper is still free, where entertainment includes watching storms roll in over the bay. A summer resort town where colder weather has already sent many south.
We don't become a ghost town, but we definitely can tell that the season is over and people have taken off. But it's a nice little place. I love it here. We have a bridge right on the edge of town. It's at our big intersection with our stoplight.
Fox and an undercover agent ended up here that night under the M31 bridge in Elk Rapids, looking for a place to set a bomb. The plan was to blow up the bridge, creating a distraction and delaying the response of police.
They were anticipating they were going to blow that bridge as a distraction. On one hand, okay, we'd like to make some changes to it. On the other hand, that's not the way to do it. So it sounded like they probably had what they needed to cause the explosion. I can't say how big an explosion, but it probably would have been enough to cripple the bridge.
The feds say that Fox, Molitor, and an informant had been in Elk Rapids 2 weeks earlier, on August 29th, to conduct initial surveillance of the governor's vacation home, taking photos and slow-motion drive-by video. They talked about spying on her home from the water, even discussed painting a boat black for the operation. One spoke of having night vision goggles. They also allegedly scouted the local police department and nearest state police post to see how long it would take police to respond to trouble at the vacation home. For the nighttime trip in September, after stopping at the bridge, according to the affidavit, they drove to the vacation home using a dash cam to record the neighborhood. She has uncontrolled power. All good things must come to an end, Croft is quoted as saying. Their plan, the feds say, was to kidnap the governor and put her on trial in Wisconsin for treason, or abandon her in a disabled boat in the middle of Lake Michigan. The governor's vacation home is a couple minutes north of Elk Rapids on Birch Lake, which got its name for obvious reasons.
The lake's wonderful. It's warm, it's spring-fed, it's taken care of.
For the most part, lakeside neighbors did not want to be identified, fearing that the feds did not get all the militia members. But many questioned the militia's plan. Some called it dumb. First, how could blowing up the bridge slow the police response when there's another bridge a couple hundred yards away? Second, neighbors hadn't seen the governor up here all year.
As far as I know, Gretchen hasn't been here in weeks and weeks and weeks. She's never really shown up here during the summertime, maybe once.
The governor's vacation home isn't hard to find. Just this spring, protesters with a Trump sign gathered at the end of her street.
They've sat right outside our house, right on the corner here, like Gretchen was down there and she could hear them or something.
It was in recent weeks that some neighbors grew suspicious. That includes the police chief, who lives just a few doors away from the governor.
Just vehicles slowing down in the neighborhood, sometimes strange cars being parked somewhere nearby. Hard to say if it was the militia guys or if it were the feds already in place, trying to keep an eye to see what was going on.
One neighbor noticed strangers on the water.
I do know that there were suspicious fishermen on the lake, people that we had never seen going slowly down that way. We keep an eye on the lake, watching it all the time, and you get accustomed to who's there, what time of day people are there, those types of things, and these people were there at night, and we just don't have very many night fishermen here. That's worrisome. We've heard a lot about Michigan militia in the past, and to know that it's right here at your doorstep is kind of worrisome.
The feds say that the day after that surveillance mission, the militia members met back at their spot outside Luther. They confirmed their plot, agreeing to one more training session in October. 2 weeks later, on October 2nd, Fox confirmed that he had bought an 800,000-watt taser for the kidnapping. They talked about plans to buy tactical gear and $4,000 worth of explosives.
That's a little unnerving. That's not what you expect. I don't care whether you're trusting or not trusting. You don't expect something like the militia, heavily armed group who supposedly have plans to kidnap the governor. We don't expect that around here.
Here, where villagers are more accustomed to scenes like this.
Well, my royal family, the thing that struck me about this segment is how light the enemy take their own. They took it light. They serious, and there will be more to come. Oh yes, and they're going to get more and more radical because they feel threatened. Their government is not working in the very system that they built. So they got to blame somebody. They got to let out their aggressions. You're dealing with uncouths. Shit, they got a number 14. How many more? I remember saying in the early 90s, the number one problem that would be in America is these militia groups. Oh, they know about them. But, they rather focus on Farrakhan and them, who ain't bothering nobody. Trust and believe that if that plan would have went off, they would have executed it all the way. All the way. All the way. Oh, it's going to be more to come. So let's get over here, back over here with Trump. Oh, well, let me do this one. And they say, oh, he was just playing. Can you imagine the information that Trump has opposed to what we have? See, they cut a lot of stuff, and we got to read in between the lines. When he got his paws on it, he was salivating, because that's how he get down. Because Trump is a coward. He like to get other people to do his dirty work, and then he go hide in the cut. But we feel you, Trump. You're tacky all over the place. You ain't upholding your woman. And I know some Beckys over here listening. So while I'm controlling you, you need to go over there to Anchor and hear what else I had to say about your ass. Your man is not going to protect you overall. You have absolutely no value to him. So y'all play y'all charade game. Y'all act like white supremacy is going to reign everlasting. Go ahead and psych yourself out and play all these games. But one thing that I can guarantee, that the royal family will reclaim their throne. All we have to do is be obedient and stay out of Esau's way. Because you can clearly see our Father got this. So my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe, I forgot one thing. I'll put the link up there. Come over to Anchor. Hear what True Royal got to really say. I told you Becky was going to be the first.